Welcome back everyone. So macOS 11 officially came out, or beta came out, and there's a public beta out as well. And I have yet to talk about it. I have a couple of MacBooks that I want to install and see how it runs on there too. So it's been a minute since I've talked about macOS at all, or even MacBooks. Now with this update, when Apple actually went ahead and, released the beta, I was surprised that they called it macOS 11 and not macOS, the next version 10.16 or whatever. So this is supposed to be a pretty big update, and it kind of is. Now, I will tell you, as a consensus with everyone, I would tell you, don't install macOS yet. I have not installed it on any of my main machines. I've only installed it on side machines, and that's going to be the better way to go about it. It doesn't make any sense to install it on your main device, so keep that in mind. All these things I'm going to talk about are going to be great, but I still would recommend you not installing them on your main device. Now, one of the biggest features that I've seen with macOS Big Sur that I have yet to see a lot of people talk about was actually the new video editing capability within the Photos app. So within the Mac Photos app, the stock one, you can now actually edit some videos in it, which is really impressive. As far as I know, you can adjust the lighting and the color, which is cool. You can add some filters, but the biggest thing is that you can crop videos within the video editing app. So that adds a lot more capability in my opinion. With macOS Catalina and previous versions, there were some other ways to go about it. Now, this is not like a way to replace Final Cut or even replace iMovie, but I think it's a good alternative for some people who just want to quickly just edit a video and you don't want to mess with it too much. I mean, iOS has had this capability for a minute, so I think it's really cool that Apple actually added this back in, or added this in the first place. So that's something I didn't hear a lot of people talk about, and I think it's a really cool thing. So that's one of my favorite things about macOS 11 for sure. And the next thing is one that's really all up in your face. It's the new design language. I mean, this thing looks a little bit different. I mean, it looks the same kind of, but there's a little bit of difference once you can see it. I mean, you can see that, it's supposed to be kind of like a minimal design, I think. It looks cleaner overall. There's new icons, which is really cool. The menu bar up top was redesigned as well, so it looks a little bit better. And there's a bunch of little minor tweaks throughout the whole entire OS, which is really huge. And I really do like things like that, I was kind of just so used to seeing macOS looking the same, and now that we have a little bit of a different layout, I think this is a big enough visual change for people to kind of distinguish, oh, you're on macOS, Big Sur, or you're on macOS Catalina or whatever, or earlier versions. And like I've said before, visual changes are probably one of the biggest ones that a software maker can do. With iOS 13, iOS 12, iOS 11, they all kind of look the same even though they're not. Now with iOS 14, it brought a lot of visual changes with those widgets and the call bar and the smaller Siri. So these are visual changes. And with macOS Big Sur, even though it's still super buggy and I wouldn't recommend installing it, it's another visual change that when people go and update, it'll be kind of like a breath of fresh air in my opinion. Now another thing, there's been tons of updates within Safari, so I don't even know that many of them, to be honest. And I don't really freak out about little minor changes here and there. There's a lot of customizations that you can do. You can set a wallpaper within Safari for macOS. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you have that capability. There's new privacy settings within Safari, which is cool, and I do like that. But a lot of these changes just kind of seem to be little minor ones. I think, I like Safari. I use Safari all the time. That's my main browser. And there's a couple gripes that I have with Safari. I wish there were more extensions. I wish it looked a little bit cleaner. But the new Safari does look cleaner, which is something I do like. So that's one thing they kind of fixed, which I really do like. There's a new translation feature built into the Safari. Tabs have been updated in Safari too. So there's quite a bit of changes that have happened within Safari within macOS 11 that kind of fix some of the gripes that I had with earlier changes. So I think that's a really big thing as well. Now the control center within macOS has also gotten a little bit of an update. So before, when you would click on it, it would take you to this old kind of layout bar. It kind of looked like something from iOS 7 or something like that. But now they actually changed it to kind of match with iOS 14, which is really cool. And they actually have widgets that kind of match up with iOS 14 as well. And I think that's really cool. I mean, like I said before, it's one of those cooler things that they did. It's another visual change, and of course, there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done. I mean, it's still not perfect. It still has a lot of things to be done, but I think overall they did a really, really good job. And I think for the most part, they really knocked it out of the park. So hopefully it's not as buggy as it was on previous versions of OS. Hopefully it's, stable and everything. But I guess we'll see how they hold up once the official version comes out. Now, Messages also got an update as well. So now pretty much all the capability that we have within Messages matches what we have on Messages on our iOS 14 devices too. So you can pin comments, you can do inline replies, you can do mentions, and there's a lot of different things. You can share your emojis as well, and And there's a lot of different things within it. I mean, you can even send the message effects. That's a really big one that I've seen. I made a whole separate video talking about that kind of stuff. And now you can send locations and all this stuff, send contacts, photos. There's a lot of different capability that we have within the Messages app. And it's an update from macOS, but it's really cool that we have pretty much the same capability from our macOS to our iOS device. So we don't have to like kind of relearn it for our iPhone and relearn it for our Mac. We just kind of, seamlessly use both of them, which is really cool, and I really do like that. Now, the final thing that I'll end off with is actually the new battery usage capability. So Apple allowed you to see a ton of different things within your MacBook, but it was kind of like a process to get there. But now you can actually see a lot of different capability from your battery. So you can see your max battery life over a 24-hour period, and you can go up to 10 days. So you can see, how much your battery is taken up by certain apps and your screen on time and all that different stuff. And you can now see your estimated battery life as well. And I think that's really, really cool. For some reason, I really wish Apple kind of brought this capability to iMacs, not necessarily the battery usage, but the little battery bar, it tells you, what apps use the most amount of battery and stuff like that. And that's something that I really do like. And I wish, I can go into the activity monitor and see it that way. But I really do wish Apple kind of brought something like this for our iMacs. Maybe it's just me, but we also have a new startup sound, which is kind of funny. I have yet to hear it yet. And I don't even know if it's fully implemented, but hopefully it's a lot cleaner than what it was on previous versions because it did not sound that good. It's just so in your face. That's why most people turn it off. But ultimately, that really pretty much covers up most of the things I wanted to hit on. But like I stated a billion times, there's a lot of cool little changes, but it's not worth, ruining your device over or having a, super buggy device. I'd recommend you staying on Catalina or Mojave or wherever you're at, whatever your MacBook supports. I would recommend staying on it. It's just not worth updating your device, in my opinion. Yeah, you get the latest and greatest features, but there are a lot of issues when you go and update your MacBook. And, with a MacBook, it's not the same as a phone. With a phone, you tend to, you can kind of get by if there's a couple bugs here and there. But with a MacBook, in my opinion, it's a lot more scarier when I mess up an iMac or a MacBook because I don't know what I'm doing that often. With a phone, I can just go replace the phone really quickly. But with an iMac or a MacBook, I can't just go replace these things. I have a ton of things on these and I don't have them constantly backed up or anything. So that's another big thing to keep in mind. Ultimately, I'll tell you, if you want to go for it, I would highly recommend you not installing it though. You're better off staying on macOS, Catalina or Mojave, and then upgrading in September whenever the official version comes out. So that's really pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section as well. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. More important than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.